What do you do on a short-term contract when it reaches its balloon payment and your lease option tenant buyer didn't follow through with the purchase? So basically, if you have 2 years to do this lease option and you're coming up on your 2 years and your lease option tenant buyer isn't capable of getting the mortgage yet, what do you do? And the first thing I would do is try to renegotiate, try to extend, try to get another 2 or 4 years. And, maybe you give your seller some money to stay in the deal, or, maybe you say, I'll either keep making your payments for you, or you can have the house back and you can deal with it.
Yeah, I want to follow up on this a little bit too, Sherry, because it says, sell and take a loss. So on a lease option, we're getting the non-refundable money up front. And then, on my deals, I always make sure there's monthly spread. So even if I decide not to exercise my option and just let the seller have the house back, I still made money because I still pocketed that non-refundable option fee up front because my tenant buyer didn't follow through on their end of the deal, and I pocketed that monthly spread on the payments that I did receive. So the only place where I'm losing out would be on the back end money when they close.
Yeah.
Okay. So I may be losing out on some of what I thought I was going to get.
Don't count those chickens before they hatch.
But at the end of the day, I still made money, right? So if we have a $5,000 minimum, even if it's a $25,000 house, I'm going to require at least $5,000 non-refundable, up front. Now, if it's a $100,000 house, I'm not going to accept $5,000. And if it's a $200,000 house, sure not going to accept $5,000. But anyway, just keep that in mind on a lease option is even if something happens and you do have to turn that house back over, you do have to not exercise that option, then, you're still making money on the transaction.
And you wouldn't be at a loss. You just didn't get everything you thought you were going to. But there's still a chance that you could go back and say, look, Mr. Seller, do you want this or do you want me to stay in the middle of it?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, they will accept it. Now, I will tell you this, in a couple of cases, we've had to go back to the tenant buyer and say, hey, you didn't fulfill your agreement. We're renegotiating the deal here with the seller, but they're going to want some money up front, right? So maybe you tell them, we can re-up and do it again for another $5,000 down. And you may have to give $2,000 of that to your seller to get them to agree to that. And at this case, if I've already pocketed $5,000, I'm not going to get greedy here. I may be willing to give them some money at this point. But
only if our tenant buyer gives us some money because it's their fault that we have to renegotiate anyway.
Right.
So you could technically say, hey, you either pay up or you get out. And you would want to do that when you still had 3, 4, 5, 6 months left on your option so that you could put the house out and maybe get a pre-approved buyer to take it and just cash it out. Cash out your seller, get an assignment fee, get the lump that you deserve. And you'd have to get rid of that tenant buyer to be able to do that. But get your money, honey.
And just make sure, don't ever give your tenant buyer the same term that you have.
No, Lord, no. They always get
that is a big rookie mistake that a lot of people make on their first deal. Is they'll agree to 2 years and then market it to a tenant buyer for 2 years. Don't ever do that. Make sure that you have some extra room there. So to Whitney's point, you do have options, right? In case, to Sherry's point, we may just want to list it. We may just want to offer it to the market. Maybe we say, hey, you know what? We got our money out of it. We got a non-refundable fee. We enjoyed the monthly cash flow. Now we're just gonna sell it.
Really fun experience. What else can we do now?